What is going on, guys? I'm C2005 Gunner here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the high-grade striker Jinx from the 4th episode of Gundam Build Fighters Battle Log. So, when I first saw this kit, I don't know that it is a Jinx because it doesn't have the typical Jinx look. Well, it is because it's hidden behind this gigantic helmet, but nonetheless, it is still, well, pretty much the advanced Jinx with a full armor type equipment. So yeah, as I said, this guy is taken off of the advanced Jinx, and well, to be honest, with the extra helmets and stuff, it actually looks pretty cool. But it really just stands out for the other Jinxes in a bad way because it doesn't capture the Jinx look, so I prefer to take off the helmet. And well, since it is still using the old Granddaddy Jinx frame, it still has the same issues from the other Jinxes. And just looking at it, it's, well, kinda like 50-50 in my book. So, for stickers, you have the 4 separate ones on the helmet. You have the Jinx eyes over here. And yeah, this head is the advanced Jinx head. So what they basically did is actually added a whole new antenna, and that's it. So to cover his shameful face up. You have the barely visible GN condenser in the chest, which is purple. And then, yep, same issues again as the Etc. Jinx that I reviewed earlier in the channel. You have falling armor pieces. So anyways, you had the circles here, circles here, circles here. And I believe that is it. So just basically circles. Oh yeah, and also these light green ones on the antennas. So stickers are minimal, so there isn't a lot for you to paint. So, well, if you are not agitated enough for getting these circles, you still have these. But all in all, they add to the detail in the end. For articulation, it is very hindered, especially in the upper body due to the added bulk. So the head, well, you can move it up and down, well, and then side to side, well, thanks to the gigantic collar and the added chest armor, you can't really get it to look side to side. So it is gonna be extremely annoying when you're gonna aim it with the GN Smart Gun. So you cannot twist it. Even if with the helmet off, it cannot really move because of the chest armor and the basically gigantic collar. So the head is extremely hindered. Well, I think this is an issue back in the day, and it's passed on until now, probably 10 to 11 years already. The arms, they still rotate on the peg, and yep, everything starts to collide with each other, so armor pieces are going to stop popping off. So the arms are still on that peg joint. They can move up and down at the base, and the arms do not have the swivel out joint, so they cannot move out at all. The GN Dischargers and the GN Shield can move, but then thanks to the joint inside the chest, it can move that far out. Arms rotate, one joints, ball jointed wrist, a swivel waist, and you can see the GN defense rods are loose as heck. I've only moved them twice or 3 times, and it's starting to wear off. Okay, and then the front skirts can move that far out, but then these pieces can move out, in and out. No side skirts, back skirt doesn't move at all because it would fall off if you do. And the axle is basically solid, so all you get is the ball joint, so you can go forwards that far, backwards that far, outwards as far as the ball joint will let it. Rotation at the hip, and a little bit of a rotation at the axle, thanks to the ball joint. And falling armor pieces, a single jointed knee, and these pieces of armor can still move up and down as effectively as the old one because, well, even with the added bulk, there is a lot of space to move around in. Okay, and then these falling pieces of armor can supposedly move up and down, but I'm gonna take them off. And then these feet can move forward and back, side to side, rotate, and that's about it. And then the GN defense rods can rotate at the base. They can pivot out at this joint, pivot at this joint, and then rotate at the base. and then these actual GN thrusters can move independently as well on thick pegs. So, all in all, for the articulation, the lower body is basically, well, as you expect from a Jinx, but the upper body, well, I cannot moan about the actual arm articulation because that has been there for a decade. But then the head is extremely hindered, so it is going to be very, very annoying when you're trying to pull off cool poses with it. So I guess put on the original chest armor because it doesn't have the clavicles, but it still has the center chest piece, so yeah. For accessories, you have the obvious GN defense rods over here that are very, very loose. You have the GN discharge pod over here with 3 GN dischargers. Unfortunately, you cannot pull it out. Now, I took it off because it's going to be simple work for Bandai to dislodge these, because this is entirely one piece. But if Bandai decides to make these 3 pieces separate, you can actually remove them and have the dead weight on the Jinx as if the GN dischargers are being launched. So you cannot do that. All you can do is basically cut them off if you want it to look like they're launched. Or you have the shield over here. So this is basically the additional armor. So I am really not sure about the design, but yeah, it said you can take them off or something. I read somewhere, but I don't know. It's just basically a shoulder shield. So if you don't want the dischargers, they have another one. So basically you can make binders. That looks alright. And of course, take off the helmet if you want to. And then the star of the show is basically the GN Smart Gun. So the GN Smart Gun is comprised of 3 parts. So this is the base piece, this is the extended barrel, and this is the actual beam rifle itself. So no stickers on it whatsoever. You have an oddly standing out Beam Saber, which is terribly colored for stealth attacks, or just basically surprise attacks with the Smart Gun, but it's alright, you can just deal it with a little bit of painting. So, moving parts, these 2 support handles. So surprisingly, the Jinx launches it from the support handles. Well, actually I should compare this guy to the mobile suit first. So it is taller than the actual Jinx. So what do you need to do to hold it is basically slide this into the hand and position the other arm, slide the hand somehow into the other support handle, and there you go. And now you can see why I really don't like aiming the Smart Gun, because of the limited head movement. And since these support handles are supposed to lock when you push them in, and they just kind of pop back out anyway, it isn't really worth my time to lock them in. So it would just kind of bob around like probably like a 2-handed basket or something, I don't know. But I just don't feel safe to let it use it because it's so loose. But anyways, it just, well, looks alright. And I'm surprised that this handle is totally obsolete. Surprise, surprise, the trigger is on here, but you fire through this handle. I don't know. But then you have the Beam Saber that is inside the Smart Gun. So you have 2 clear orange beams. I don't think anybody ever said that. Clear orange beams. So you can plug one into here like a bayonet that it actually needed. Or you have another Beam Saber, which, yeah, probably stored in the legs or something like that. So you can actually dislodge the barrel, yeah, and then this part, yeah, and then the Beam Saber. So you can actually let the striker dual wield Beam Sabers if you don't like the Smart Gun. There we go. It's actually dual wielding the Beam Sabers. And one miscellaneous item, an open claw hand. And yep, one thing I like about the Jinx mold back in the day is it has sharp fingertips. But anyways, that is all the accessories for the Striker Jinx. The only other Jinx I have to compare to this guy is basically the P Bandai Accelerate Jinx. which is Tipsy Topsy for now because it has been drunk skating. These two look pretty different because this is kind of like a mint green, while this is kind of an army green. And yeah, basically the base Jinx are different as well. So you have kind of like the normal, like first generation Jinx look over here, while you have the Jinx 4 look over there. And surprisingly, this guy kinda looks more bulky because of the gigantic weapons. So that is it for the Striker Jinx. So for me, yeah, this kit is still pretty loose. I need to somehow like stiffen up these joints over here to make sure that it would stay in the original pose that I have. And well, you kinda need a lot of stiffening because everything would start to fall off, pop off, and yeah. And basically the stupid like design back in the day, well, I can't complain. Well, these pieces are still gonna be a bother. But then these new pieces are gonna be a bother, the joints are gonna be a bother, and holding the Jean Smart Gun would be a bother, and well, the extremely limited head articulation is going to be an extremely bother, because, well, it's going to get me really anal to not let it look down the barrel of the Smart Gun, but yeah, I can always let it dual wield as orange Beam Sabers. But then yeah, you really need a lot of stiffening in order to make this guy stay in place. Now before I end the review, I'm going to show you guys the leftover parts that you get. So, from the A plates you have the GN drive, I don't know where these go, you have the original headpiece, waist skirts, you have the GN shield emitter for the shield, and then you have the original support handle for the beam rifle, and then you have the original leg armor. And then on the C plates, you have the gray bases for the fins. You have barrels and this gun barrel. And I don't know where the oh, yep, good. I can have an extra connector for my etc. Jinx. Good. And then for the B plates, I kind of messed up the alphabet there because I don't know my alphabet, but yep, here you have the original armor, the original feet, the original chest piece, the original like GN drive base, I guess, the ports, yeah, the GN drive ports, and then parts to make the shield. You can put some pieces onto this guy if you do not like the Striker configuration, but unfortunately you cannot replicate a full advanced Jinx unless you have some Jinxes that you can strip some parts off of and repaint to give this guy the advanced Jinx look. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Tell me in the comments below what do you think of the Striker Jinx in the anime, also in model kit form. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe for more model reviews and gunplay news and all that kind of stuff. So subscribe to my second channel for gaming videos in the description below. Subscribe to the featured channels on my channel page if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.